Chapter 3711. Huh? What a strange blood sea. It can actually melt and devour the attacks of the three skeleton kings. Such powerful strength. She has such terrifying combat strength just after her breakthrough. No wonder the Black Vulture King said that his granddaughter's future potential is higher than his. As the battle broke out, Ling Honggu easily melted and devoured the attacks of the three skeleton kings. The blood-red sea of blood continued to attack forward. As for Ling Honggu, she had completely merged into the blood sea and could not be seen at all. Princess Ling Honggu is so strong. Indeed, this is not a battle of the same level. The three skeleton kings are not Princess Ling Honggu's strength at all. All the skeletons in the surroundings looked at this scene with bewilderment on their faces. Wang Xian looked over. Ling Honggu's strength wasn't something the First Order Sovereign Realm Skeleton King could compare to. Even if it was 1 against 3, she could easily annihilate them. Even if Ling Honggu's strength was not as strong as the mutated Divine Dragon, it was not too far off. Most importantly, her inheritance had not been completely integrated. Once it was integrated, she should be comparable to an existence like the mutated Divine Dragon. Swish, swish, swish. In the battle above, strips of blood-red cloth strangely flew out from 3 directions, entangling the 3 skeleton kings. The 3 skeleton kings' expressions changed as they tried to dodge and block. However, the strange power of the blood sea made it impossible for them to resist. We admit defeat. Princess Ling Honggu's strength is really terrifying. The 3 skeleton kings were slightly shocked as they admitted defeat. As the 3 skeleton kings finished their words, the blood-red blood sea and energy disappeared, revealing Ling Honggu's figure. Haha, great. The Black Vulture King saw it and said happily, "Among you, are there any who are willing to follow Honggu? We are willing to follow Princess Ling Honggu and serve Princess Ling Honggu in the future. We are willing to follow Princess Ling Honggu." Soon, 5 skeleton kings walked out from the Black Vulture King's underlings and knelt down. Sure, Honggu. They will follow you and fight for you in the future. The Black Vulture King saw it and nodded with a smile. He looked at the army in front and said, "In addition, the Black Shark Army will follow Honggu from now on. If she lives, you live. If she dies, you die." Yes, greetings, Spirit Redbone Queen. The entire Black Shark Corps was made up of powerful skeletons. There were 100,000 of them, but they were all elites. They immediately knelt down and said, "The Black Vulture King really dotes on his granddaughter to actually give her such power." The skeleton kings in the surroundings looked on in shock. Putting aside the fact that the 5 skeletons were First Order sovereigns, they were extremely powerful. At the same time, they had their own army. In addition to the powerful Black Shark Legion, this force was very terrifying. Hee, Black Vulture King, you must have called us here to ask for gifts, right? Hee, I have 8 gold-tier warriors here. I'll give them to your granddaughter. A skeleton king said with a smile. With a wave of his arm, 8 Third Order Universe sovereigns appeared in front of Ling Honggu. I have some toys here. The other skeleton kings also waved their arms and gave out some gifts. As the Black Vulture King watched, a smile appeared on his face. Ha 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 ha, good, come, Redbones, thank those old fellows. The Black Vulture King happily waved at Ling Honggu. Ling Honggu immediately flew over and expressed her gratitude to the skeleton kings. Congratulations, I happen to have a treasure that you can use. Wang Xian looked at Ling Honggu. With a wave of his palm, a flaming armor appeared in front of him and flew towards her. Huh. Ling Honggu was taken aback when she saw it. The Black Vulture King and the surrounding skeleton kings were astonished. Innate cardinal treasure. This was an innate cardinal treasure. Even ordinary sovereigns did not have an innate cardinal treasure. There were not many innate cardinal treasures in the universe, especially those that corresponded to one's elemental attribute. There were even fewer innate cardinal treasures that he could use. As for the innate cardinal treasure armor that Wang Xian handed over, it was obviously a defensive treasure. As long as one was a fire elemental expert, they could use it. Such a valuable treasure is given to him directly. It seems like the Dragon King has a good relationship with the Black Vulture King's granddaughter. The Skeleton Kings thought to themselves, Wang Xian, this is too valuable. Ling Honggu's jaw dropped when she saw it. Take it. I've obtained more than 10 innate cardinal treasures in the invincible domain. Wang Xian smiled. He had obtained more than 10 innate cardinal treasures in the entire invincible domain. Although he could use every elemental attribute, too many of them were of little value to him. As for the experts of the Dragon Palace, it was the best choice for them to nurture their own Dragon Balls. Great. Ling Honggu smiled at him and put it away. Hee hee. The Spirit Devil King couldn't help but laugh when he saw this. Now, Ling Honggu not only had a powerful grandfather, but he was also on good terms with the Dragon King. With these two powerful backers, he was also very excited. The Black Vulture King smiled when he saw Ling Honggu keeping it. There were few relationships between experts, but he was very happy to see this scene. In his opinion, the potential of the Dragon King was much stronger than his granddaughter. Ling Honggu saluted the Skeleton Kings one by one. After dozens of minutes, the Black Vulture King waved his arm and they came to a palace. There were 11 chairs in the palace. Obviously, they were for Wang Xian, Ling Honggu, and the Skeleton Kings. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows slightly when he saw this scene. Our Hellbone King has sent news that the family channel is about to open. Let's discuss about entering. The Black Vulture King looked at them and said directly, Her. Wang Xian was shocked when he heard the sudden words of the Black Vulture King. Dragon King, you haven't heard about this yet. However, it won't be long before the entire chaotic continent knows about it. The Black Vulture King said to Wang Xian when he saw his shocked expression. World Channel? Universe World Channel? From our 9-source universe to other universes? Wang Xian asked in surprise. It seems like you know something, Dragon King. This time, the World Channel was opened by the giant beasts of the mountains and seas. They were also the ones who opened the door to their hometown to the world of the giant beasts, which is also the Starry Sky universe. The Black Vulture King continued to explain to Wang Xian. Starry Sky universe? Wang Xian nodded his head slightly. He had learned a little about the Starry Sky universe from the Void Pagoda. The Starry Sky universe was the universe where the giant beasts of the Starry Sky were born. Speaking of which, the giant beasts of the 9-source universe were considered outsiders. As for the reason, he wasn't sure. However, he should be able to ask the Black Vulture King this time, to understand the secrets of the universe. Chapter 37:12. The opening of the World Passage is both an opportunity and a crisis for us. The Dark Bone King has ordered all of us to enter. The Starry Sky universe is rumored to be very strong. We need to be prepared. Whether we work together or act alone, we have to discuss it. The Tiger King looked at them and said, We will definitely be suppressed if we enter another universe. Besides, we can't return to our own holy kingdom instantly. If we die, we might really die. It's very dangerous. A Skeleton King said with a slight frown. It is indeed dangerous, but that is the Starry Sky universe. That is the world where the giant beasts of the Starry Sky are born. The resources there are much more than in our 9 Origins universe. The Lizard King said plainly, his eyes shining. We can work together and enter. If we work together, you have to put aside your grudge with the Black Vulture King. Besides, we need to practice. After all, we will be entering another universe, and a very powerful one at that. A Skeleton King looked at them and said, Sure. The Black Vulture King glanced at the Lizard King and replied in a low voice. The 9 Skeleton Kings were discussing. Wang Xian listened quietly at the side. From their conversation, he also learned some information. The Black Vulture King and the others were subordinates of the Dark Bone King. When the World Passage opened, the Dark Bone King allowed them to enter the Starry Sky universe. If they entered the other universe, they would be rejected by the other universe. Their strength would be suppressed, and they could not be teleported back instantly. If they died there, unless they had a special universal treasure, they would really die. It was very dangerous. But at the same time, the Starry Sky universe was also a huge treasure to them. There were much fewer living beings in the Starry Sky universe than in the 9 Origins universe. That was the home of the giant beasts of the starry sky, which also meant that the resources there were very rich. Some treasures might be able to help experts break through the shackles easily, or even modify their own bloodlines. After all, the bloodline abilities and special bodies of the giant beasts of the starry sky were too powerful. Wang Xian listened to their discussion, and a thoughtful look appeared on his face. The cataclysm will arrive in a few billion years. When that time comes, it will be truly tragic. Therefore, the sudden opening of the world passage is an opportunity for our Nine Origins universe. When that time comes, the experts of our peak races will probably let the experts and disciples of the advanced races enter, in order to obtain more experts and better deal with the cataclysm. The Black Vulture King spoke. Upon hearing this, Wang Xian's eyes flickered. Let's go get ready first, and then we'll gather at Lord Darkbone King's place. The Lizard King glanced at them and said, "All right." The group of Skeleton Kings nodded and gestured to the Black Vulture King before leaving. As Wang Xian watched them leave, his gaze fell on the Black Vulture King. Hee, Dragon King, do you have a lot of doubts? Black Vulture King looked at Wang Xian and asked with a smile. Indeed, Black Vulture King, there are many things that I'm not clear about from your conversation. Wang Xian nodded his head. It's normal that you don't know. Regarding the cataclysm and the cosmos, not even the disciples of the peak races know anything about it. Only those who have advanced to the sovereign realm are qualified to know about it. The Black Vulture King smiled and continued. With the Dragon King's current strength, you are qualified to know about it. Regarding the cataclysm, rather than calling it a cataclysm, it would be better to call it a great war. A great war between the various universes. Every great war is a cleansing and reincarnation of the various universes. War? Grandfather, why are the various universes fighting? Ling Honggu asked curiously from the side. Because of resources. The Black Vulture King answered. The Nine Origins universe isn't the only universe. There are other universes. Every 30 billion years, the various universes will get closer to each other, and the universe passageways will appear. Once the passageways open, a great war will break out. In some universes, there are terrifying existences that are bloodthirsty and kill crazily. In some universes, they can teleport and are the greatest enemies of our Nine Origins universe. In the Void universe and the Starry Sky universe, the Starry Sky beasts are also bloodthirsty. They devour flesh and blood to enhance themselves. During the period when the various universes are getting closer, it will basically be a bloodbath. Sometimes, all living beings in the entire universe will be massacred. We can only wait for the various universes to separate and give birth to living beings after some time. However, the good thing is that the strength of our Nine Origins universe is not bad. In the recent 2 Cataclysm, several peak races have survived. However, the chances of the weaker races and living beings surviving are much lower. As the Black Vulture King spoke, Wang Xian, Ling Honggu, and the rest were shocked. The entire universe will be massacred? What level of war is this? Is it that tragic? Wang Xian asked in surprise. The Black Vulture King nodded his head. According to the records, it is very tragic. Before the last cataclysm, 5 peak races were annihilated. Our skeleton race was only born in this era. However, our Skeleton King is an existence that survived the last cataclysm. Grandfather, can't we just hide and not participate in the war? Ling Honggu asked doubtfully. It's useless. The weak will die. Take our enemies, the experts from the Void universe for example. When they enter our universe, they can teleport. There is no place for you to hide. Some Starry Sky beasts also have terrifying abilities. In another universe, there is a race called the Ghost Race. They can't be killed or destroyed. They can only be suppressed. This race can sense the location of living beings. The Black Vulture King shook his head. Can't be killed or destroyed? Ling Honggu's eyes widened in shock. You can say that. Of course, there is a way to kill them, and that is the Heavenly Yuan Creation Treasure. The Black Vulture King said and shook his head. However, there are only a few of such treasures in a universe. There is actually such a terrifying race. Wang Xian clicked his tongue. Yes, no expert can guarantee that they can survive the cataclysm. Even the peak races don't have 100% chance of surviving. The Black Vulture King nodded his head. Black Vulture King, the skeleton race seems to be very strong now. Wang Xian said to him, Haha, indeed. Although the skeleton race has only made a breakthrough in this era, we have inherited powerful abilities. In the last cataclysm, countless experts turned into skeletons. The skeleton race was born from skeletons and condensed power from corpses. This is the greatest advantage of the skeleton race. In the last cataclysm, some corpses and skeletons made us stronger. The skeleton race was born in death and war. The Black Vulture King laughed heartily and said, Chapter 37:13. The skeleton race was born in this era. They relied on the countless corpses from the previous cataclysm to form the current pinnacle race. It was also because of this that the skeleton race produced a large number of experts. According to the Black Vulture King, the skeleton race had the most universe rulers among all the pinnacle races. No other pinnacle races dared to belittle them. Not even those pinnacle races that had survived 1 or 2 cataclysm. Due to their size and physique, the cosmic beasts can slowly adapt to any environment. Now, they can be found in any universe and will gradually evolve and mutate in this universe. Some of the cosmic beasts in our 9-source universe have already developed intelligence. The real cosmic beasts in the starry universe do not have intelligence. They only hunt, eat, reproduce, and sleep. This time, the channel was opened because of a few pinnacle cosmic beasts in the mountains and seas, Hundun, Phalian, Ba Wei, Swan and I, and Su Hao. They used their terrifying strength and treasures to open up the world channel. These cosmic beasts want to return to their own universe. After the universe channel is opened, the starry universe is a treasure to us. However, the strength of the starry universe is stronger than our 9-source universe. There will be great risks in entering. The Black Vulture King continued to explain to Wang Xian. Thank you, Black Vulture King, for the information. Wang Xian cupped his hands and thanked the Black Vulture King. Hee, this information is not too confidential. The universe channel will be opened in 1,000 years. When the time comes, the pinnacle races will spread the news. By then, any disciple of the experts in the 9-source universe will be able to enter the starry universe. Dragon King, be careful if you go. The Black Vulture King reminded with a smile. Wang Xian nodded. Grandfather, are there really many treasures there? I'll go too. Ling Honggu looked at the Black Vulture King and asked, Can go? Although it's dangerous there? Similarly, the opportunities are strong. The Black Vulture King nodded. Of course. Most importantly, Honggu, you have the resurrection fruit that the Dragon King gave you. As he spoke, he looked at Wang Xian. Can't you return to your own holy kingdom in another universe? This also caused many life-saving treasures to lose their effectiveness. Dragon King, you gave Honggu that soul-returning fruit that you auctioned last time, but it's useful. It's a rare life-saving treasure. Although I'll need to cultivate again, I'll be able to survive. Oh, really? I obtained quite a few of these treasures back then. I can give 2 to you, Black Vulture King. Wang Xian said. His palm moved. 2 soul-returning embryo fruits appeared in front of him. There's no need. I bought a few at the last auction. It's enough. The Black Vulture King was a little tempted, but he still rejected it. I still want to act on my own. Wang Xian rejected after thinking for a while. His current strength and speed were much stronger than Ling Honggu. It would be better for him to act on his own. All right then, be careful. You have to be careful too. Wang Xian chatted with Ling Honggu. Before long, the Spirit Demon King also came in. The group chatted for a while. Wang Xian did not stay at the Spirit Demon race for long. On the 4th day, he returned. At this time, he received a message from Lan Qingyue. This message was about the Starry Sky universe and the World Passage. This message was sent to her by Xiao Lan and Xiao Zhai. Xiao Lan and Xiao Zhai were currently within the sea of the land of mountains and seas. This time, the World Passage was opened by the Starry Sky Beast. Qingyue, how much information did Xiao Lan send? Wang Xian returned to the Dragon Palace and asked Lan Qingyue. Little Blue and the others sent a message saying that a powerful astral beast in the mountain sea realm has opened up a huge passageway. This passageway leads to another universe, a universe where astral beasts are born. Many astral beasts have already entered that universe. Many starry sky beasts have already entered that universe. Lan Xingyue replied immediately. Chapter 37:14. Has it been opened? Wang Xian's eyes sparkled when he heard the message. Just as Black Vulture King had said, the resources of the nine-source universe had already been occupied by the top races. When the last cataclysm had just ended, the surviving top races had occupied all the treasures. As time passed, various races were born, but most of the treasures could still be easily obtained by the top races. 95% of the resources in the entire nine-source universe were concentrated in the hands of the top races. This was also the reason why the top races were so powerful. It was extremely difficult for the Dragon Palace to improve further. The opening of the Starry Universe Passage was an opportunity for the Dragon Palace. Of course, it was also an opportunity for the experts of the other races in the nine-source universe. However, this fortuitous opportunity could be mixed with great danger. The Starry Universe was the universe where the starry beasts were born. Even the sovereigns had to be careful there. After all, they could not escape instantly, and many life-saving treasures were useless. If they died, they would really die. Prime Minister Turtle, Wang Xian came to the Dragon King Hall and transmitted his voice to Prime Minister Turtle. Dragon King. Prime Minister Turtle flew over and cupped his hands respectfully. I have a message for you to accept. In addition, inform the Dragon Palace Universe Supremacy disciples about this and ask them to prepare. Wang Xian waved his arm, and a message from Black Vulture King entered Prime Minister Turtle's mind instantly. Prime Minister Turtle absorbed it and nodded immediately. We don't know much about the Starry Universe. As for entering the Starry Universe, let them decide for themselves. Wang Xian said as he sensed the soul fetal fruit on the progenitor tree. He hadn't used the soul-returning embryo fruit recently. This also caused the number of soul fetal fruit in the Dragon Palace to reach more than 4,000. In addition, gather more than 2,000 other stronger disciples and let them enter as well. Everyone who enters will get one soul fetal fruit. Wang Xian continued to order. Yes, Dragon King. I will gather all the leaders and experts to discuss this immediately. Prime Minister Turtle said. There's no hurry. I think it will take some time to pass through the passage. Wang Xian said. Prime Minister Turtle nodded. This time, Wang Xian was going to order the experts of the Dragon Palace to go over. After reaching the pinnacle of the venerable realm, fighting and killing was a shortcut to breaking through. This was also the reason why there were so many experts heading to the invincible domain. Wang Xian switched on the universe AI to take a look and realized that the message had not been sent out. And he's not anxious? He waited quietly. At the same time, he asked Lan Xingyue to keep an eye on the situation at Xiaolan's residence. Roar. Time passed day by day. A year passed in the blink of an eye. However, on this day, a world-shaking roar suddenly echoed out from the depths of the mountains and seas. This vast voice seemed to spread throughout the entire untainted continent. When Wang Xian heard this voice, he could vaguely sense something from this roar. He could feel a powerful pressure pressing down on him. His figure flickered, and he instantly flew above the Dragon Palace, looking down into the depths of the mountains and seas. What grade of star behemoth did that roar come from? This voice that carries such a powerful pressure. He murmured and looked in the direction of the ocean in shock. He stood in the void for a very long time, and when there was no second roar, he stopped. He returned to the Dragon Palace. Dragon King, half a year later, all the pinnacle races will make a statement on the universe AI. The world passage to the starry universe will be opened. At that time, we will encourage the experts and disciples of the advanced races to explore. Dragon King, you can wait a few hundred years or 1,000 years before you enter. It might be dangerous to enter first. At this time, Black Vulture King sent a message. Wang Xian saw it and replied gratefully. Xiao Xian, Xiao Lan, and Xiao Zhai have entered the starry universe. Along with them are almost all the star behemoths in the mountains and seas. At this time, Lan Xingyue flew over and said to Wang Xian, "Huh, Xiao Lan and Xiao Zhai have entered the starry universe? Then let them enter first. Xingyue, if there's any special information about the starry universe, tell Prime Minister Turtle and me immediately. We might enter the starry universe in half a year." Wang Xian's eyes flickered as he spoke. "All right." Lan Xingyue nodded. Xiao Zhai and Xiao Lan had the bloodline of the star behemoths. Since they were star behemoths, the starry universe was their home. With them taking the lead, it was undoubtedly great news for the Dragon Palace. At this moment, in the universe's AI, due to this terrifying roar, the entire prehistoric continent was in an uproar. This roar spread far and wide within the primordial continent. Many experts and disciples heard it. Many experts and disciples discussed in shock. Half a year passed quickly. However, on this day, a sudden piece of news caused the entire chaotic continent and even the entire nine-source universe to be in an uproar. This news came from the pinnacle races. It came from more than one pinnacle race. Angels, demons, phoenix race, celestial tiger race, black tortoise race, fairy race, sorcerer race, skeleton race, sage race, underworld race, celestial nation, and royal race. Currently, there were a total of 12 pinnacle races in the nine-source universe. These 12 pinnacle races released news one after another on the same day. Fairy race. In the depths of the Sea of Mountains, the passage between the nine-source universe and the starry universe has opened. The starry universe is the birthplace of the star behemoths. Countless resources and treasures are waiting to be explored. This is an opportunity for all races in the nine-source universe. Devil race. The cataclysm will arrive in a few billion years. If you do not wish to be exterminated, you must become stronger. The starry universe is the only way for all races to survive. Skeleton race. You are very lucky. Before the cataclysm, a passage has opened between the nine-source universe and the starry universe. There is a way to become stronger. Enter the star behemoths to seek opportunities. This is the only way to survive the cataclysm. Angel race. Those who enter the starry universe and break through to the sovereign realm can join our angel race. The angel race will be your strongest backer in the future cataclysm. Celestial tiger race. Sovereign realm experts can join our celestial tiger race. Our celestial tiger race will organize experts and disciples to enter the starry universe. Disciples with second-order sovereign combat power and above can join. Underworld race. You may die if you enter the starry universe. However, if you do not enter, you will definitely die in the cataclysm. Entering the starry universe is your only hope. The 12 pinnacle races released news at the same time on the AI. In an instant, the universe exploded. Chapter 37:15. The peak races didn't care about the matters of the higher races. They were already standing at the peak. Most of the resources in the Nine Essences universe were now under their control. The apex clans usually wouldn't fight with the advanced clans for some newly born treasures. It could be said that they did not care about anything outside of their own treasured land. The disciples of the peak clans all cultivated within their own clans. Even the warlike skeleton clan and the nether clan, who constantly slaughtered and devoured each other, were only fighting among themselves. They had no interest in high-level races at all. Now that the 12 pinnacle races had made a statement at the same time, it could be said that all the races were boiling with excitement. What does the apex races statement mean? The passageway between the Nine Essences universe and the Starry Sky universe has been opened, and we can enter the Starry Sky universe? There are other universes beyond us? Are we disciples of the Nine Essences universe? What's on the other side of the universe? Cataclysm? In the coming cataclysm, the peak-level races are saying that we have to become sovereign realm experts in order to survive? What is going on with the cataclysm? SSS. Why do I feel chills running down my spine when I see the information of all the top races? When all the experts and disciples of the chaotic wasteland continent saw the message from the peak races, they felt a chill run down their spines. The Nether Clan and the Skeleton Clan had declared that if they wanted to survive the cataclysm, they would have to enter the Starry Sky universe. The Netherworld race even said that they might die if they entered the Starry universe, but if they didn't, they would definitely die when the cataclysm came. Furthermore, Every peak-level race had revealed how terrifying the measure tribulation was. That was, without sufficient strength, they would be exterminated. Regarding the cataclysm, even the high-level races did not know much about it. In addition, there were still billions of years before it would arrive, so not many powerhouses paid attention to it. But now, from the information provided by the top races, they knew how terrifying the cataclysm was. Billions of years were indeed very far away from them. However, no matter which advanced race it was, they immediately gathered all their powerhouses when they saw this message. For powerful high-level races, it was easy for them to survive for billions of years. There were even some top-grade races that could survive for tens of billions of years without a problem. Now that he saw the information of the apex races, they instantly tensed up. Which race would want to face extinction? No one wanted to be exterminated. There's no need for the experts of the peak races to plot against us. They should be telling the truth. I think we can go and take a look. That's right. There's no need for the peak races to lie to us. Any random sovereign realm expert from one of the peak races could wipe out all of us. There is a vague legend in the universe about the cataclysm. It is said that even the most powerful races may not be able to survive the cataclysm. But why would the peak races tell us about this? Do they want us to help them scout the way? Or do they want experts to be born among us high-level races? It's possible. Maybe the power of our universe is stronger? It will be easier to resist the cataclysm. Some of the experts from the various races were discussing and guessing. There was no need for the peak races to lie to them. Moreover, it was not worth it to be deceived by the alliance of the 12 peak races. Secondly, from the information of the peak races, they also knew that the peak races had no ill intentions towards them. All the races and powers in the universe knew the strength of the apex races. They were on a completely different level from them. As long as one thought a little, they would know that the apex races wanted to give birth to more experts in the universe. And that was indeed the case. The ultimate goal of the various races was to increase the overall strength of the 9 Essences universe. The second reason was that he wanted them to scout the way, exploring a vast universe. A universe where the astral beasts were born would be difficult even for the apex races. This would require a large number of experts and disciples. And before the cataclysm arrived, the more experts in the 9 Essences universe, the better. Perhaps, some experts could obtain great opportunities in the astral universe and become peak experts. This was not impossible. If there were really some experts with great luck, they might be able to reach the ruler realm in a few billion years. After all, that was an unexplored universe. An unknown universe, a universe full of dangers and opportunities. We have to go and take a look. We have to go. It's already very difficult for us to improve and achieve breakthroughs. Immediately, the experts and disciples of countless races prepared to head to the astral universe. They all knew that there might be dangers there, but at the same time, the chances of obtaining opportunities were higher, especially the old monsters from the invincible domain. When they received the news, they were extremely excited. Without any hesitation, they immediately flew towards the depths of the mountains and seas. The 12 peak races announced it at the same time. Looks like there will be many experts and disciples from the 9 Essences universe going there. In the Dragon Palace, Wang Xian's eyes lit up when he saw the news. The temptation of a new universe was something many experts could not resist, especially those experts who had not achieved breakthroughs for a long time. They were prepared to go and seek opportunities. If they were lucky, they might soar to the sky. Chapter 37:16. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Wang Xian flew quickly above the sea. The depths of the mountain sea realm could be said to be one of the most dangerous places in the universe. This was the playground of the giant astral beasts and terrifying dire beasts. There were many terrifying existences here. It could be said that the number of terrifying dire beasts and giant astral beasts in the mountain sea realm was comparable to several peak races. This was a forbidden place for other experts. It was the playground of the giant astral beasts and dire beasts. However, at this moment, there were not many powerful marine creatures around. There was not even a shadow of the giant astral beasts. Originally, the interior of the mountain sea realm would make one's heart palpitate. Now, it had completely disappeared. Wang Xian flew inside. Occasionally, he could see experts and disciples of other races flying deeper into the mountain sea realm. Clearly, there were still many experts who wanted to go and take a look. After flying for a few days, Wang Xian suddenly felt the aura in front of him changing. It was a vast expanse, and a savage aura rushed towards him. This aura was different from the Nine Origins universe. Wang Xian squinted his eyes and continued to fly forward. After flying for another day, towering mountains appeared before him. Each mountain stood in the middle of the sea, faintly emitting a powerful aura. The mountains were overgrown with trees and looked very ancient. At this moment, he looked ahead with a shocked look in his eyes. As far as the eye could see, it was a very shocking and strange place. There was space within space, as though two worlds were overlapping. Suddenly, another void appeared in the vast void, its surface area incomparably huge. At this moment, there were already countless experts and disciples gathered in the surroundings. A flying phoenix, another clan shrouded in darkness, a majestic divine tiger, a mysterious sorcerer shrouded in a bamboo hat, an angel flapping his wings, a celestial kingdom with an illusory palace above his head, a sage's disciple stepping on the clouds with a feather fan and books in hand, a black tortoise with a thick black shell. Groups of experts from peak races gathered at the entrance of this world, and around this entrance, there were many experts and disciples from high-level races from the chaotic continent. They looked at this scene in shock. Other than them, there was another eye-catching race in the center. Below that race, there was a huge starry sky battleship. The entire starry sky battleship was the size of several stars. Countless aircrafts flew towards the unknown world. Wang Xian looked over with glistening eyes. He moved his body and approached the entrance. The passage between our cosmos and the starry sky cosmos has just opened, but even the experts of the peak races don't dare to enter. The starry sky universe is the birthplace of the giant beasts of the starry sky. If you enter it and suddenly encounter a terrifying giant beast of the starry sky, you won't even know how you die. The scientists of the technological world are currently analyzing the characteristics of the starry sky universe. The peak races are also waiting for their data. Let's not talk about other things. Some of the advanced technology in the technological world is indeed very powerful in terms of exploration. It's much safer than using disciples to explore. As Wang Xian approached, he could hear the conversations of a group of experts and disciples. Zhang Xian scanned the surroundings, but he didn't enter or get too close. Everyone was waiting, standing there quietly. The surrounding experts and disciples were constantly discussing. The peak races seemed to be waiting for some news. Days passed. 5 days later, a figure in a mecha flew out from the central battleship. My lords, the aircrafts of the technological world have penetrated tens of thousands of light years into the starry sky universe. According to our analysis, the metal, wood, water, fire, earth, wind, lightning, light, and darkness attributes are 20% less than those in the nine-source universe. The starry sky universe has a strong repulsive force against the beings in the nine-source universe, suppressing us by at least 3 levels. Other than that, we can already confirm that we can sense our god nation there, but we can't return to it instantly. In addition, we didn't find any danger in the surroundings. The universe AI can't be used. The starry sky universe contains energy that our nine-source universe doesn't have. Our robots found some fruits, and after our analysis, we found that many of them are extremely useful for the physical body. The special energy is extremely beneficial to the beings in the nine-source universe. In addition, the resources there are indeed more abundant. Many of the divine fruits with attributes have not been devoured by the giant beasts of the starry sky universe. They might not be to their liking. The mecha from the technological world reported to the experts of the peak races. His voice spread out, and all the experts and disciples in the area could hear him clearly. 3 levels of suppression? That's way too powerful. Experts of the peak races can't fight those of a higher level than them. Even the battle prowess of us high-ranking races will be suppressed by 1 level. We can't return to our god nation instantly. The danger is much greater, and the mortality rate will be very high. But the scientists from the technological world also said that the resources there are very abundant. There are many fruits that can improve the physical body, and there are even many attributes. The experts and disciples of the high-ranking races discussed in shock. Some of the experts were nervous and afraid. Not being able to return to their god nations was too dangerous. Disciples of the sorcerer tribe, we will explore new worlds and come into contact with new knowledge. We will not shirk this responsibility. An old man with an incomparably pale face, dressed in black sorcerer attire, said calmly from the sorcerer tribe. His figure flickered, and he instantly disappeared. Behind him, the sorcerers didn't hesitate at all. They stepped into the starry sky. The sorcerer tribe had tens of thousands of sorcerers who entered. The sorcerer tribe had very few members to begin with. Having tens of thousands of sorcerers entering was already a lot. Wang Xian could vaguely sense that the sorcerer who entered first should be a third or fourth order universe lord. At present, the information of the starry sky was still unclear. Clearly, the experts who entered first were not very strong. Celestial Nation, let's go. Over at the Celestial Nation's side, a bald old man with a huge Buddha figure above his head let out a soft cry and also flew inside. From the Celestial Nation, hundreds of thousands of experts and disciples entered. One by one, the peak races entered. However, each peak race left some experts at the entrance. They hovered there, as though they were waiting for the return of their clansmen, and also for the transmission of information. Hee, I can feel the aura of the divine dragon. Hee. At this moment, from the angel tribe, an extraordinarily handsome 12-winged angel stood at the front. He slowly looked in Wang Xian's direction. Chapter 37:17. Wang Xian, who was watching, suddenly felt his heart tighten. His expression changed, and he looked over immediately. Their eyes met. Wang Xian looked at the 12-winged angel. A very handsome 12-winged angel. He stood there and stared at Wang Xian calmly. He wore a long white robe with the word 3 carved on it. The third prince of the Radiant Angel clan. Wang Xian looked over and his eyes narrowed. The third prince looked at him quietly before turning to his side. Keep an eye on all the members of the Dragon Palace. Once any divine dragon bloodline enters, lock on and kill them. I don't want any disciple of the Dragon Palace to survive after entering the starry universe. He looked at a burly battle angel beside him and ordered, Yes, Your Highness. Leave a dragon king to me. The burly 12-winged angel nodded and looked at Wang Xian. The third prince is so powerful that he can kill me in a second. That burly angel's strength is also very terrifying. He can also easily kill me. Wang Xian stood there, and his expression changed slightly. Wang Xian estimated the third prince's strength to be above the fifth order universe sovereign realm. He might even be above the seventh or eighth order universe sovereign realm. The angel who was staring at him was also very powerful. Indeed, the third prince still wants to kill me. I reckon the moment I enter, the experts of the angel clan will come for me. Wang Xian knitted his eyebrows slightly and pondered deeply. The angel clan could not attack him here, but they could in the starry universe. The starry universe was an unknown treasure trove. Although there were dangers, it could allow an expert to soar. According to the thinking of an expert, the third prince would never allow the experts of the Dragon Palace to seek opportunities in the starry universe. It was highly likely that he would let them enter and then kill them. If I enter now, I can still escape their lock on me. Wang Xian thought to himself. He had an escape scroll in his hand and could escape instantly. Although this instant escape was a little random, it was also a life-saving treasure and could be used 3 times. He could use the mother nest to lead the experts of the Dragon Palace into the starry universe and escape. Go. As he thought about it, he moved and disappeared in an instant. Third prince, take this to prevent the divine dragon bloodline possessor from being taken away from the living space. When Wang Xian disappeared, Qingjiang Aqua Phoenix, who was standing beside the angels, fixed her gaze on the third prince. In front of the third prince, a statue of a dragon head appeared. Seeing the statue, the third prince smiled and nodded calmly. This was to prevent other experts' disciples from leaving with the Dragon Palace's experts in their life spaces. Once there was, the third prince would be able to sense it through the dragon head. At that time, the third prince could either directly send someone or follow them personally. A puny dragon palace wants to fight with me. The third prince sneered with a cold look on his face. Once he took action personally, he could easily crush the small dragon palace. Buzz. At this moment, Wang Xian had returned to the dragon palace in the Dragon King Hall. He was deep in thought. Lie. He shouted, but there was no response. Then, he sensed the dragon palace, took out the universe AI, and sent a message to Anlai. Dragon King, you called for me? Soon, Anlai appeared. At this moment, he seemed to be in high spirits. Wang Xian sized Anlai up and was surprised. Anlai, you've gotten stronger? Yes, Dragon King. Dragon King, I can cultivate in the Void Pagoda. Moreover, the Star Pagoda in the Invincible Domain is one of the top Void Pagodas. There aren't many of them in the entire Void universe. After some research, I discovered other functions, which boosted my strength tremendously. Anlai said excitedly. The Void Pagoda in the Invincible Domain was definitely a top-notch treasure in the Void universe. More importantly, this treasure wasn't an ordinary inborn treasure, but a terrifying war machine. There weren't many of them in the entire Void universe. Now that such a powerful treasure was occupied by Anlai alone, the energy inside had boosted his strength tremendously. Is that so? Anlai, how far can you teleport now? Wang Xian's eyes lit up as he asked in anticipation. If Anlai could teleport far away, he could send Anlai over first and then bring them over. In terms of teleportation distance, I can teleport from one side of the Eternal River to the center. Anlai said, at this distance? Upon hearing this, Wang Xian frowned slightly. This distance wasn't very safe. The area that the technology world had investigated was about the size of the entire Eternal River. Once Anlai teleported over, with the technology of the technology world, they would be able to find some clues. Now, Wang Xian could confirm that Anlai's ability belonged to the Void royal family's teleportation ability in the Void universe. Once discovered, it would be very troublesome. Dragon King, I can perform some simple control of the Void Pagoda now. If I control the Void Pagoda, the teleportation distance can be increased by 10 times. At this moment, Anlai added, is that so? Wang Xian's eyes lit up and revealed a tinge of excitement. Let's go, follow me. He moved and immediately flew towards the depths of the mountain sea land with Anlai. When they were still a very long distance away from the entrance of the world, he stopped. After scanning the surroundings and confirming that there were no experts around, Wang Xian gestured to Anlai. Summon the Void Pagoda over. He said, yes, Dragon King. Anlai nodded. In the next moment, a huge Void Pagoda appeared in front of him. Dragon King, let's go in. Anlai said to him as he brought him to the control position of the Void Pagoda, the Void Throne. Dragon King, when I sit on the Void Throne, my abilities can be enhanced to a terrifying extent. Under the condition of sensing space, I can sense a large number of experts gathering in front of me. I can also sense the starry universe and can extend it very far. Anlai sat on the Void Throne and said to Wang Xian, very good. You can teleport to the limits of the Void Pagoda immediately and enter the starry universe. Won't you be discovered? Wang Xian asked. No, no experts from the Void Pagoda can be discovered at the entrance of the starry universe. As Anlai spoke, he used the power of the Void Pagoda to sense quickly. In the next moment, they disappeared. Chapter 37:18. Wang. In an unfamiliar space, a dark void tower appeared out of thin air. Not far away, there was a star that contained boundless life force. On top of the star, there was a large amount of vegetation. This place seems to be very far from the universe passage. Wang Xian stood beside Anlai and looked at the monitor. He was shocked when he scanned the surroundings. Wang Xian knew that this was where Xiaolan and the rest had gone. Xiaolan and the others had to fly for a day to reach this distance. One could imagine how far this distance was. Yes, Dragon King, we are already very far away from here. Anlai stood up and nodded. All right. Anlai, contact Prime Minister Turtle immediately and bring the experts and disciples of Dragon Palace here. As for how they will act, let them decide. In addition, tell them to be careful of the experts of the Phoenix clan and the Angel clan. Once they encounter them, escape immediately. Yes, Dragon King. Enlai nodded. Keep in touch with all the disciples who entered the Starry Sky universe. In addition, Enlai, you have to be careful. Don't let the experts of the pinnacle races know about your ability. It's best not to let the Void Pagoda be discovered. Wang Xian thought for a while and continued to instruct. Enlai's ability was the same as the Void royalty in the Void universe. It was best not to let the other pinnacle races know about it. Yes, Enlai nodded. I'll leave this place to you. I'll go take a look around, Wang Xian said and gestured to Enlai. In the next moment, he appeared outside. Now that Enlai's strength had improved, he was a big trump card for the Dragon Palace. Now, he could kill a First-Order Sovereign in an instant. When he came outside, Wang Xian instantly felt that his strength was suppressed. His original ability to fight above his level was suppressed by 3 levels. However, if the experts from the pinnacle races of the 9-source universe came in, Wang Xian's strength would also be comparable to a Second-Order Sovereign. After all, their strength was also suppressed. However, if he were to face a powerful giant beast of the Starry Sky universe, he might not be able to do so. A stellar beast at the pinnacle of the Venerable Realm was already strong enough to fight against Wang Xian. Of course, because of Wang Xian's speed, companion spirits, and Dark Ghost's doppelganger, Wang Xian's strength was almost invincible among Second-Order Sovereigns. Even Khanate Cardinal treasures are suppressed. This suppressive power is really strong. It seems like it would be best not to provoke the galactic beasts of the Starry Sky universe. Wang Xian murmured. Lan, Lil Mansion, and the others followed the Star Behemoth experts and flew deeper into the depths of the Starry River. Wang Xian was only familiar with the surroundings of their route and was not familiar with other places. He still needed to explore everything by himself. In addition, the universe AI could no longer be used in the Starry Sky universe. If they wanted to communicate, they needed to use the communication stone plate. Wu Sha had created a communication stone plate that belonged to the Dragon Palace. The disciples of the Dragon Palace in the universe could communicate with each other through the stone plate. Let's go take a look at that planet. Wang Xian moved his body and approached the planet rapidly. His dragon eyes scanned the planet continuously as his eyes glowed with radiance. This planet. Wang Xian flew over and immediately sensed waves of majestic energy coming from above. He moved and immediately flew over. There are treasures. He moved and immediately came to the top of the planet. Using his energy to sense, he instantly arrived at the ocean of the planet. In his sight, he saw a special blood-red vine growing in the deepest part of the ocean. These vines contained rich water attribute energy. Wang Xian entered the ocean and waved his arm to pull the entire vine up. Using his hand to sense it, he was a little excited. This treasure contains very high energy. It is comparable to a monarch-level divine grass and divine fruit, he murmured. He mumbled to himself. Any random planet had such a treasure. There should be countless of such planets in the universe. Wouldn't it be crazy if there were such treasures every week? There is also something very strange. The entire planet is so full of life, but there are no living creatures. Wang Xian murmured. He felt that this might have something to do with the characteristics of the universe. If it were a 9-origin planet, a planet might give birth to life in a few million years, or even less. Another thing was that the star behemoths of the Starry Sky universe contained special energy in their bodies. Take Lan, Lil Mansion, and the others for example. The energy in their bodies did not belong to any attribute. They also relied on devouring other living creatures to improve. On the contrary, they did not like such divine grass and divine fruit. Wang Xian's eyes flickered slightly. He kept the vine and continued to search the planet. Soon, he found a lot of resources that were useful for cultivation. Apart from these, he also found some special fruits. These fruits did not have 9 attributes. Instead, they contained a special type of energy. Wang Xian took out the one with the smallest energy. After hesitating for a moment, he swallowed it. After entering his stomach, the fruit was digested quickly. A special energy entered his body. This energy was very strange. It could modify the physical body. The energy could strengthen the physical body. These fruits are also useful, but the effects are minimal. These should be the fruits that the star behemoths like to eat. Wang Xian murmured. This starry sky universe is a huge treasure to the Nine Origin universe. I can now guess why the cataclysm is so tragic. He guessed. The arrival of the cataclysm and the opening of the universe passage meant that one could enter another universe. This also created a problem. That was, things that were common and useless in one universe were huge treasures in another universe. This would naturally lead to fights, and the treasures of another universe were even more precious to the other universe. Hence, there would be fights over them. Over time, when the cataclysm arrived, there would be killings. Of course, this was just Wang Xian's guess. The cataclysm was so tragic. This might only be one of the reasons. There should be other aspects. Continue to explore. If I can find 100,000 of these planets, I will be able to break through. As Wang Xian spoke, he looked in a direction. With a swift move, he flew over immediately. Compared to the Nine Origin universe, 10,000 planets was just a drop in the ocean. In the starry sky universe, there would definitely be many. He felt that it should not be difficult. Given the resources on a planet, 100,000 would be enough for him to break through. His eyes were filled with excitement as he quickly disappeared into the starry sky. And the experts who had entered the pinnacle of the starry sky universe soon saw the vast resources. Chapter 37:19. So many resources. There are actually so many resources and treasures on a single planet? The sorcerer clan's powerhouses were the first to enter the universe. They floated above a planet, their eyes blazing. Just one planet had so many resources. In the universe, a planet was just a drop in the ocean. From this, it could be seen that the starry sky universe definitely possessed an enormous amount of resources. The other peak races soon received the news. They used their communication compasses to immediately send out the news. With so many resources and treasures, it was enough for them to take the risk. The experts who have entered have sent news that there are large amounts of resources in the starry sky universe. The resources of a single planet are comparable to the collection of a weak high-level race. You can take the risk and enter. Before entering, each of you will be given a communication stone plate. You can send messages through this stone plate. In addition, if you discover a treasure and there are giant astral beasts guarding the surroundings, you can tell this information to any of the peak clans. If the treasure is obtained, the discoverer will receive 5% of the resources. Or perhaps it's a treasure that you're satisfied with. Don't worry, we're a group of peak clans, and we won't kill for some treasures. On the side of the sorcerer clan, there were still a few powerful sorcerers who did not enter. When they got the news, they glanced around and said directly. This time, none of the peak-tier races hid anything from the advanced races. There were two reasons for this. The first was that the starry sky universe was a complete and powerful universe with a very large surface area. It was not something that peak races like them could explore in a short period of time. The second reason was that the disciples of the other high-ranking races would be able to bring back some information and find more treasure troves. In addition, they were very weak. The treasures that they could get their hands on were not even worth the attention of the peak-level races. If they couldn't get their hands on some precious treasures, they could report it to their peak races. It was a win-win situation. Are there really many treasures? I'll say it again. There's no need for the lords of the peak races to lie to us. If they want to find laborers, they can totally enslave us. Come, let's go in. Let's go in. Some experts pondered for a moment and immediately entered the starry sky universe. Soon, more and more experts entered. All the strong disciples knew that only by entering this place would they be able to obtain great opportunities. Only then would they have the opportunity to set foot on the peak of the universe. Wang Xian had no idea where the entrance to the starry sky universe was. At this moment, Wang Xian was flying rapidly in the void, following which, intense sounds of attacks could be heard. TSK, TSK, TSK. The countless branches also let out a creepy sound. 5 elements obliteration, die. This humongous branch only possessed the combat strength of a pinnacle supremacy. It was much weaker than Wang Xian. A wave of annihilation energy swept over, and the branches lost their vitality in an instant. Boom, boom, boom. The branches seemed to be in despair as they shook violently. The entire planet also shook violently and cracked open gradually. The planet had collapsed. At the center of the cracked planet, a surge of powerful energy could be felt. At the core of the planet, a ball of green energy was condensed. The energy was filled with vitality and other unique auras. It was mainly wood elemental with other unique energies mixed in. What's this? Wang Xian was shocked. He felt that this energy would be extremely beneficial to his cultivation. Could it be that the branch is a galactic beast that was born on this planet? Most of the energy and resources of the entire planet were absorbed by this galactic beast cub. The more he thought about it, the more likely it seemed. The entire planet was like a mother's fetus that was nurturing a powerful and horrifying life. This was also the reason why the galactic beast had such a huge body size and did not need a god nation. If that's the case, I have to be more careful, Wang Xian thought to himself. Chapter 37:20. The core of the entire vine contained boundless energy. Wang Xian put it in his hand and sensed the energy. He smiled. The essence of the giant galactic beasts was concentrated in his body. After absorbing it, it would be of great use to cultivators in the Nine Origins universe. The harvest this time was no less than the previous time. After he put it away, he glanced around and flew in a certain direction. Before long, Wang Xian found another planet with life. It had only been a few hours. The planet with life exuded a surging power of fire. He flew over and immediately found a huge volcano in the center of the planet. There was a special metal around the entire volcano. Wang Xian sensed carefully and landed beside the volcano after finding no signs of life. Fire-type godstones are perfect for crafting spirit treasures. Even in the Nine Essences universe, they would be considered precious treasures. Wang Xian looked at the metal, his eyes shining. In the starry universe, other than some special giant galactic beasts who fed on this metal or was rarely consumed. This was not like the Nine Origins universe, where weapons were also a part of one's strength. Basically, every expert had several weapons. However, the giant galactic beasts did not use weapons, which resulted in a lot of metal ores here. Metal ores that were fought over in the Nine Origins universe could be found everywhere here. TSK. The resources in the starry universe are really rich. Wang Xian sighed as he kept all the metals, following which, he began to search the entire planet. After collecting a large number of divine herbs, elixir pills, and metal, Wang Xian continued to the next planet. At this rate, it wouldn't be long before he could gather all the resources he needed to level up. While flying in the void, Wang Xian suddenly heard a roar. He looked over and his face turned solemn. Without any hesitation, Wang Xian immediately changed his direction and flew in another direction. At this time, there was no need to offend these giant galactic beasts. After a while, a vibrant continent appeared in his sight. Floating in the void, there was an incomparably lush forest on top of the plate. Wang Xian entered and began to search for treasures. For the next month, Wang Xian continued to fly in the starry universe. Once he sensed the aura of the giant galactic beasts, he would hide immediately. Over the past month, Wang Xian had also discovered that there were quite a number of galactic beasts in the starry sky universe. As they flew, they encountered giant star beasts every day, both strong and weak. For the time being, Wang Xian did not provoke them. In this short month, he had obtained a large number of treasures and found more than 100 habitable planets. Every habitable planet had a bountiful harvest. Even at this rate, I'll only need about 1,000 years to gather enough resources for a breakthrough. With a smile on his face, Wang Xian continued flying forward with his eyes fixed ahead. Another habitable planet. Soon, Wang Xian saw a planet. This planet was 4 to 5 times larger than the one he had seen previously. What's that? Before he could get close, a wave of dense energy came over. He stared at the position above the planet with a look of shock in his eyes. It was an extremely thick tree. The tree wasn't very tall, but it covered an area of at least tens of thousands of kilometers. On this tree, there was a fruit. The fruit was over 1,000 kilometers in size. This was the largest fruit Wang Xian had ever seen. Most importantly, there was a strong attraction coming from this fruit. This fruit is huge. It contains a lot of energy. Wang Xian was slightly shocked. He scanned the surroundings and did not sense any other life aura. It was floating above the fruit. Compared to the entire fruit, he looked incomparably tiny. The energy it contains. This fruit is extraordinary. Wang Xian's eyes were burning with passion. Just this fruit alone was 10 times more than what he had obtained in the past month. This starry universe is really full of treasures. As Wang Xian spoke, he slowly landed on the fruit. When his body landed on the fruit, he suddenly felt the sky turning dark. A white light, like a cloud, instantly enveloped him. The sudden change shocked Wang Xian. In the next moment, he felt something horrifying coming from below him. A pair of humongous eyes suddenly appeared on the left and right of the fruit. This pair of eyes was extremely tragic and contained a strange energy. Oh no, this entire planet is a giant star beast. Wang Xian felt the horrifying aura of this giant star beast, and his expression changed drastically. Without any hesitation, he wanted to escape far away. Wang. However, at this moment, Wang Xian strangely realized that the surrounding white clouds suddenly surged into his body. An extremely heavy force came over. He felt as if his body was being crushed by an endless mountain, causing his speed to drop to the limit. What kind of giant star beast is this? Wang Xian's expression changed drastically. Without any hesitation, a scroll appeared in his palm. He opened the scroll and a wave of energy shrouded him. The giant star beast below seemed to have sensed something as a huge cloud shrouded him from its eyes. Fortunately, in the next instant, Wang Xian's figure disappeared. The surrounding scenery changed. Wang Xian realized that he was surrounded by fiery red meteorites. Each meteorite carried a strong force as it flew in the void. Huff huff. Wang Xian heaved a sigh of relief and wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. He looked at his own body, which still felt extremely heavy. What kind of giant star beast is this? Such a strange attack. If I had run a little slower, I would have been left there. Wang Xian murmured with lingering fear. The danger was really high. There are many treasures in the starry sky universe, but it is also very dangerous. Wang Xian's eyes flickered. If he did not have a treasure like the space scroll, he would have died for sure. One should know that his current strength was comparable to a second-order universe lord. Seems like I have to let the dark ghost doppelganger explore next time. This way, the safety will be greatly improved. Wang Xian murmured. He had been a little careless. Looking around, Wang Xian sent a message through the communication stone plate of the Dragon Palace, reminding all the disciples of the Dragon Palace to be careful. Continue. After sending the message, Wang Xian cleaned up the strange energy in his body. He looked around and flew in a direction. With the space scroll's random teleportation, he had no idea how far he was from where he was just now. Chapter 37:21. This part of the void is very unique. Dense clusters of meteorites are shuttling around at high speed. Wang Xian flew in this part of the void, but after flying for half an hour, he realized that there were still flaming meteorites ahead. This was another starry sky. As he did not have a map of the surroundings, he could only continue flying forward. After flying for another 3 to 4 hours, he realized that the meteorites ahead were moving faster and faster. At this speed, even Wang Xian had to dodge with all his might. This made him frown slightly. Did I go in the wrong direction? He murmured to himself. But Wang Xian did not stop. 3 to 4 hours was nothing to him. As he continued flying forward, the rate of damage was increasing. A day later, Wang Xian could not even keep up with the speed of these meteorites. I can't go on. I can't continue. Wang Xian stopped and stood in the void with a slight frown. He hesitated for a moment and looked at the surrounding meteorites, as well as the position behind him. Rumble. However, at this moment, a loud sound was heard. Wang Xian looked over and saw a black meteorite colliding with another meteorite. The other meteorite was instantly smashed into pieces. Huh. Wang Xian's eyes swept over and landed on the black meteorite. His eyes flickered. The black meteorite emitted a dark energy. The energy of the entire meteorite was extremely pure. The surrounding meteorites were all shuttling at a terrifying speed. The black meteorite could smash the other meteorites into pieces. One could imagine how sturdy it was. Given the speed of the surrounding meteorites, even an innate spiritual treasure might suffer a blow if it collided with it. But that black meteorite— Wang Xian raised an eyebrow and looked at the black glow. With a thought, he instantly flew towards a meteorite. Bam! His body landed on the meteorite, and the thorny vines held him in place. Wang Xian shook his body, and 4 dark ghost avatars appeared around him. These meteorites are flying at high speed. Other than the flames from the friction, there are no other attacks. The dark ghost avatars can ignore physical attacks and have a great advantage here. Wang Xian thought to himself. The 4 dark ghost avatars locked onto the black meteorite that was flying at high speed. With a swift move, they flew over. Wong wong wong. As the 4 dark ghost avatars approached, streams of dark energy wrapped around the black meteorite. The rate of loss instantly slowed down. Boom. However, just as it descended, a meteor flew over from behind and crashed into it, creating a loud noise. The power of darkness wrapped around the meteorite instantly collapsed, and the black meteorite continued to fly forward. No, we can't let the meteorites behind hit the top. Wang Xian moved, and the 5 elements grindstone appeared in his hand. Continue. The 4 dark ghost avatars continued to wrap around the meteor, their powerful strength causing it to slowly weaken. Wang Xian looked behind him and waved his arm when he saw a meteorite chasing after him. The 5 elements grindstone directly smashed into the meteorite behind it. Boom! The damage from the rear was scattered in all directions. 5 divine dragons emerged from the 5 elements grindstone. They raised their heads and charged at the beasts behind them. Under the control of the dark ghost clone, the black meteor slowed down until it came to a complete stop. Wang Xian moved and immediately came before the black meteorite. The meteorite was only 1,000 meters in size, and its extreme speed made it look as if there were no impurities on it. Wang Xian placed his arm on it and immediately sensed a pure power of darkness. This was a type of metal, a special and powerful metal. At the very least, Wang Xian had never seen such a powerful metal in the 9-source universe. Oh, I wonder if the Tai Chi Dragon Plate can absorb it. With a thought, the Tai Chi Dragon Plate appeared in front of him. He placed the powerful meteorite on top of the Tai Chi Dragon Plate. Wang. The Tai Chi Dragon Plate began to spin, slowly grinding away the energy and essence of the meteorite and absorbing it. It's working. Soon, Wang Xian's face lit up with excitement. It was working. The Tai Chi Dragon Plate could absorb it, and he could sense that the Tai Chi Dragon Plate was getting a little stronger. If I can get enough of this metal meteorite, there's a chance for the 5 elements grindstone and the Tai Chi Dragon Plate to make breakthroughs. Wang Xian's face lit up with delight. This material was different from inborn cardinal treasures. Inborn cardinal treasures contained a type of soul. If one wanted to absorb an inborn cardinal treasure, the inborn cardinal treasure would resist on its own. The Tai Chi Dragon Plate and the 5 elements grindstone could not do it. On the other hand, this meteorite was a pure metal. All he had to do was grind away and absorb it bit by bit. If I can find the first meteorite like this, I should be able to find the second one. Murmuring to himself, he jumped down from a meteorite and stared at the spot in front of him. At the same time, he ordered the 4 Nether Ghost doppelgangers to fly forward and monitor the surroundings. Together with the Nether Ghost doppelgangers, Wang Xian could monitor a large area. Next, Wang Xian stood there and waited quietly. Time ticked by, but there were thousands of meteorites flying by in every second. Each meteorite carried a terrifying amount of energy. After a few hours, Wang Xian suddenly sensed something. One of the Nether Ghost doppelgangers saw a special meteorite. It was a golden meteorite, and it was emitting golden light at a terrifying speed. Netherworld Dragon Transformation. He moved and instantly replaced that Nether Ghost doppelganger. At the same time, his body shook, and 4 Nether Ghost doppelgangers appeared before him. Swish, swish, swish. Wang Xian scanned the surroundings and immediately flew towards that piece of metal. Swish, swish, swish. The nether ghost doppelgangers wrapped the meteorite with dark energy, and Wang Xian also released thistles and thorns to prevent it from flying. The five elements grindstone hovered behind him, attacking the meteorite behind him to prevent it from crashing over. This golden meteorite is even bigger than the dark attribute one. Great. Looks like there's hope for the Tai Chi Dragon Board and the five elements grindstone to break through. Wang Xian revealed a smile. He couldn't help but sigh. The starry universe was really full of treasures. If a large number of experts and disciples from the nine-source universe were to enter, there would definitely be a lot of experts. Perhaps some of the advanced races could be promoted to the pinnacle races. He said that the opportunities here were great. After dealing with the golden meteorite, Wang Xian continued to scan the surroundings. This time, his luck wasn't as good as before. 10 days later, he encountered another flying piece of metal. It was a fire attribute meteorite metal. Let's go to the source. After keeping it, Wang Xian flew towards the direction where the meteorite came from while searching for it. Chapter 3722. Swoosh, swoosh, swoosh. Wang Xian shuttled through the meteorites and headed in the direction the meteorites came from. Another one. To his left and right, the four dark ghost doppelgangers were flying at the same speed. When Wang Xian sensed this special and powerful metal, a smile appeared on his face. Moving his body, he instantly executed the dark ghost transformation and intercepted the piece of metal. That's the third one. Continue. Wang Xian revealed a faint smile as he looked ahead. With a jerk of his body, he continued flying forward. His speed wasn't slow. Days passed. Around him, the five elements grindstone and Tai Chi dragon plate absorbed the powerful metals and strengthened them. Such special metals weren't common. Sometimes, Wang Xian would encounter one in a day or two. Sometimes, he wouldn't even encounter one after a dozen days. Fortunately, he could get some every month. This made Wang Xian sigh again. This was a land of treasures. He continued flying in the direction of the meteorites. After a few years, Wang Xian had lost track of how far he had flown, but he still couldn't see the end. He didn't stop. Although these metals couldn't enhance his strength, they could enhance the Tai Chi Dragon Plate and the five elements grindstone. With the enhancement of the Tai Chi Dragon Plate and the five elements grindstone, his strength would naturally improve as well. Wang. After flying in this area for about 10 years, a majestic energy suddenly came from above and in front of him. Wang Xian looked over, and his eyes lit up with excitement. They broke through. What a coincidence! The Tai Chi Dragon Plate and the five elements grindstone broke through at the same time. Wang Xian was pleasantly surprised. The two treasures that couldn't be enhanced in the Nine Origins universe had broken through in 10 years here. Over the past 10 years, Wang Xian had obtained over 100 pieces of special metals. After absorbing all of them, the two treasures had been enhanced. After the enhancement, Wang Xian would have an invincible defense among second-order universe sovereigns. The five elements grindstone could have 3 second-order universe sovereigns. Coupled with Wang Xian's own strength, it was enough to contend with third-order universe sovereigns. Of course, in this universe, Wang Xian's strength would be suppressed by 3 levels. Rumble. The two treasures glowed as they completed their transformation. Seeing this, Wang Xian revealed a smile. Let's continue. Perhaps if we stay here for 1,000 years, the Tai Chi Dragon Plate and the five elements grindstone will improve again. Wang Xian's eyes were filled with excitement. With a swift move, he continued to fly forward. Countless meteorites flew past him rapidly. After the breakthrough of the five elements grindstone and the Tai Chi Dragon Board, Wang Xian's strength had increased tremendously. Intercepting some special metallic meteors would be even easier. However, whether or not he could encounter a metallic meteorite depended on his luck. Time passed. In the blink of an eye, the passageway between the starry sky and the 9 essences universes had been open for more than 100 years. In the short span of 100 years, everything about the starry sky universe spread to the 9 essences universe with terrifying speed. There are treasures everywhere in the universe. Even a planet with life has a large number of treasures. This is incredible. The entire starry sky universe seems as if it hasn't been mined at all. There are so many treasures. Opportunities are often accompanied by danger. The patriarch of the 5 cauldron demons was devoured by an extremely terrifying astral beast above a vital planet. After entering the starry sky universe, if I can stay there for hundreds of millions of years without dying, my strength will definitely increase to a terrifying level. Information after information came from the starry sky universe, shocking everyone. Soon after, more and more experts and disciples stepped into the starry sky universe. Even if there were dangers, compared to the opportunities, this little bit of danger was nothing. In fact, more than a decade after Wang Xian stepped into the starry sky universe, Prime Minister Turtle and the rest decided to send another 100,000 Dragon Palace disciples into the starry sky universe. Even if there were some risks, at most, Enlai would have to run a little more and bring the branches of the soul returning wood for treatment. There were simply too many resources in the starry sky universe. In fact, this was normal. The number of living beings in the starry sky universe was a few billion times less than the 9 Essences universe. In the entire starry sky universe, there were no other living beings other than the astral beasts. This resulted in all the treasures that were born in the past 20 billion years. On top of that, many astral beasts were not interested in fruits with attributes. This resulted in many treasures being preserved. Of course, the risks involved weren't small. It's been 100 years and the Dragon Palace hasn't sent any experts into the starry sky universe? At the same time, at the entrance of the starry sky universe, the third prince frowned slightly and asked the burly battle angel beside him, "Third prince, I didn't sense any disciples with the divine dragon bloodline entering." The 12-winged battle angel shook his head. He had been standing here all this while and could sense the treasures. It was impossible that he didn't sense anything. That shouldn't be the case. Could it be that the Dragon Palace hasn't sent any experts in yet? The third prince mumbled to himself as he looked to the side. Beside him, the Qingjiang Aqua Phoenix shook her head. Wang. At this moment, several terrifying figures flew over. The third prince looked over and his eyes flickered. Big brother. He looked at a figure and called out to him. Elder. Elder. Ancestor Huang. In the surroundings, the experts from the various peak races also shouted at the terrifying figures that were flying over one after another. Let's enter the starry sky universe. Third brother, stay here and watch. The 12-winged battle angel that the third prince called Big Brother looked at him and said plainly. The third prince nodded. In the next moment, a dozen terrifying figures flew into the starry sky universe. From the aura they exuded, every one of them was a top-notch expert in the sovereign realm. There was a reason why the pinnacle races had only sent a dozen experts into the starry sky universe after 100 years. If experts that were too strong entered the starry sky universe, they might incur the wrath and rejection of the terrifying giant space beasts. After all, they were invaders, and the aura of invaders was different from the giant space beasts. For example, in the Nine-Source universe, unless it was the mountain and sea realm, the giant space beast would definitely be hunted down if they appeared in other places. It was the same in the starry sky universe. The terrifying existences of the starry sky universe might not care if some weak experts entered. However, if experts entered, it would mean that they were invading, and they might incur the wrath of countless giant space beasts. This time, the 12 pinnacle races had sent an expert in just to probe the starry sky universe. If they incurred the wrath of the giant space beasts, they could only seek revenge. Lions might not care if an ant entered their territory, but they would care if a wolf entered. Chapter 3723. Wang Xian had no idea where the entrance was. He was still shuttling through the meteorites at high speed. When he encountered some metallic meteorites, he would stop them immediately. Time was the most worthless thing in the universe. 100 years passed in the blink of an eye. In this 100 years, he had collected quite a number of metallic meteorites. However, the Tai Chi Dragon Plate and 5 Elements Grindstone required too much metal to make further breakthroughs. Where is the end of these meteorites? I have been flying for 200 years. Other than the meteorites slowing down a little, nothing else has changed. Wang Xian frowned slightly. After flying for 200 years, this distance was already very far. However, he still hadn't reached the end. This made him a little hesitant. This starting position, could it be the starting point of the starry sky universe? I'll fly for another 100 years. If I still can't reach the end, I'll just fly to the side. Wang Xian made up his mind and continued flying forward at high speed. Boom, boom, boom. However, in less than 100 years, the surrounding meteorites had slowed down to a very low speed. At the same time, a terrifying roar was heard. What's going on? Wang Xian looked ahead and saw the roar coming from the front. As far as he could see, he did not see anything. His eyes flickered as he continued flying forward. As he got closer, the sound got louder and more terrifying. It was a little deafening. But after flying for an entire day, a shocking scene appeared in his line of sight. That is, he focused his eyes and looked ahead. He felt his heart tighten. In front of him, a shocking scene entered his eyes. It was a huge continent. Wang Xian couldn't feel how big the continent was. Above the continent, the sky seemed to have been torn apart. A horrifying tornado stood there. The humongous tornado engulfed the entire continent. Countless rocks on the continent were swept into the sky and flew in his direction. Some rocks were turned into powder. Some rocks were glowing with a thick luster. Wang Xian felt that he would be torn apart if he were to enter this horrifying tornado. It was too horrifying. It was so horrifying that he was a little shocked. At this moment, a roar was heard. Wang Xian looked over and saw a huge galactic beast with a metallic luster flying towards the edge of the horrifying tornado. There was a piece of earthy yellow metal. The entire piece of metal was 100 times larger than what Wang Xian had obtained. It was hundreds of thousands of meters in size. However, the size of the star behemoth was even more terrifying. The giant starry sky beast opened its mouth wide and swallowed the piece of metal. The incomparably huge piece of metal was directly swallowed into his stomach. As if he had eaten his fill, he swayed his huge body and floated on a huge meteorite next to him. Seeing this, Wang Xian pursed his lips and swept his gaze across the surroundings. So many star behemoths. Wang Xian would not have known if he had not observed. Now that he had seen it, Wang Xian's pupils constricted. In his line of sight, there were a total of 10 giant space beasts. They were lying on some meteorites. Some were sleeping, while others were staring at the direction of the storm, as if they were waiting for some metal meteorites. There are so many giant star beasts. These giant star beasts feed on these metals. Wang Xian murmured. This was the source of the meteorite. But this source was too shocking. Because he was too far away, he could not sense the strength of these giant star beasts. However, since he could easily shatter some meteorites, his strength could easily annihilate Wang Xian. He was no match for them. The giant star beasts here seem to be from the same race. They have a metallic exterior and a huge metal tail. Especially their tails, they look very strong. Wang Xian analyzed and did not dare to go any closer. He stood on a meteorite behind and watched from afar. Wang Xian's gaze swept across the heart of the storm as the rumbling sound reached his ears. He realized that many pieces of metal were flying out from here. Some of the larger pieces of metal were swallowed by the giant star beasts. Only some of the smaller pieces of metal were not devoured by the giant star beasts, as though they were nothing in their eyes. With a glance, Wang Xian could see more than 10 pieces. So these giant star beasts are not interested in the metals I got. Wang Xian murmured as he looked at the huge pieces of metal that flew out from time to time. His eyes were burning with passion. If he could get 3 or 4 pieces of such a huge piece of metal, the Tai Chi dragon plate and 5 elements grindstone could be upgraded again. Forget it. These giant star beasts should all be above the ruler level. I'm no match for them. It's not a bad idea to get those smaller pieces. Wang Xian's eyes flickered as he looked at the few pieces of metal that flew out. After a moment of hesitation, he flew over immediately. He did not dare to unleash his full power and chased after the 3 pieces of metal quickly. The Dark Ghost Doppelganger, Tai Chi Dragon Plate, and 5 Elements Grindstone were all intercepted together. Bam, bam, bam. Violent collisions were heard. However, these violent collisions were completely drowned out by the sound of the storm. The group of giant star beasts did not notice. This made him heave a sigh of relief. Roar, roar, roar. However, just as he had put away all 3 pieces of metal, an angry voice suddenly sounded. The sudden voice caused him to be slightly startled. He hurriedly turned his gaze over. Damn! In his sight, a strange giant star beast with a huge mouth and a body like a meteorite was attacking Wang Xian angrily. His body was brown and almost no different from a meteorite. His body was filled with a tough and unparalleled aura. He opened his mouth and a golden energy rock flew towards Wang Xian. Wang Xian kept the metal immediately. With a move, he swung his arm. A dragon claw met his attack directly. Boom! An explosion sounded, and the attack of the giant star beast was smashed by Wang Xian. Sensing the power of the attack, Wang Xian heaved a sigh of relief. Fortunately, it was within the range of resistance. This giant star beast could fight. This guy must be here to pick up the scraps. He murmured as he stared at Wang Xian and scanned the surroundings cautiously. Roar, roar, roar. This galactic giant beast let out another furious roar and charged towards Wang Xian. Swish, swish, swish. Wang Xian moved. For nether ghost avatars passed through the meteorites and attacked him with the claws of the devil dragon. Obliteration. Impact. Wang Xian waved his arm and the 5 dragon heads on the Tai Chi dragon plate in the sky extended out and spat out a terrifying torrent. The torrent condensed and formed a terrifying obliteration force. Chapter 37-24. Rumble, rumble, rumble. Seeing Wang Xian's attack, the metallic glow on the giant galactic beast dispersed to the surroundings. The surrounding meteorites seemed to be attracted by a huge force as they blasted towards Wang Xian and the dark ghost doppelgangers. Intense rumbling sounds rang out. Wang Xian's attacks were blocked one after another. It's not much stronger than me. I can fight it. Wang Xian stared at the horrifying giant galactic beast. With a move, he transformed into his divine dragon form. Around him, the 4 dark ghost doppelgangers also transformed into dark dragons and stared coldly at the giant galactic beast. Roar, roar. The giant galactic beast was infuriated. It lifted its head slightly, and its body began to transform. His entire body was like a transformer, turning into a huge beast. A giant galactic beast with 8 arms. Huh. When Wang Xian looked over, he was shocked. Transforming its body into another form. This giant galactic beast was really something. Towering dragon horn. Wang Xian's dragon horn emitted a beam of light and blasted towards the beast. At the same time, the 4 dark ghost doppelgangers attacked. Rumble. Seeing Wang Xian's law of Dharma attack, the giant galactic beast showed no fear. It raised its 2 arms and blasted back. With a dull thud, the giant galactic beast flew back uncontrollably. At this time, the attacks of the 4 dark ghost doppelgangers arrived at the same time. Bam, bam, bam. His other 6 arms met the attacks of the dark ghost doppelgangers. His body is like indestructible metal. The defense of this giant galactic beast is too tough. Wang Xian frowned slightly when he saw this scene. He stretched out his dragon claws, and the 5 elements grindstone floated above his head. The Tai Chi dragon plate floated around him and flew towards him. This giant galactic beast was clearly better at close combat. Seeing Wang Xian's attack, it threw a huge fist towards him. Let's try his fist attack first. Wang Xian did not dodge. His dragon claws met the fist. Tai Chi rotated on his dragon claws. Bam! A terrifying collision sounded again. The fist of the giant galactic beast landed on Wang Xian's dragon claws, but did not break the defense of the Tai Chi dragon plate. At the same time, the Tai Chi dragon plate countered with a strong force. All right. When Wang Xian sensed this, he was elated. This galactic beast could not break through the defense of the Tai Chi dragon coil. If it couldn't be broken, it wouldn't be a threat to him at all. Buzz buzz. On the top of Wang Xian's head, 5 dragon heads emerged from the Tai Chi dragon plate and bombarded the giant star beast. Ka ka ka. An earthy yellow energy floated around his body to block the attack. Mighty heavenly dragon, Wang Xian bellowed. A huge, illusory shadow of a divine dragon charged towards him. Dark Ghost Clone, kill. The 4 Dark Ghost avatars moved, attacking the giant star beast from all directions at the same time. Boom, boom, boom. One attack after another landed in front of him, and the earthy yellow energy was destroyed. His body was like a piece of metal, with cracks appearing all over it. There was no flesh or blood, as if they were made of metal. Boom. It opened its mouth, and sharp metal spewed out from its mouth. Physical attacks can be ignored. Wang Xian sensed this attack. With a thought, the 4 nether ghost doppelgangers closed in on him in an instant, and attacks continued to land on him. This giant star beast didn't seem to understand why its opponent could ignore its attacks completely. Its huge eyes revealed a hint of unease. He realized that the enemy was a little difficult to deal with. This giant star beast's attacks are more towards physical attacks. The uniqueness of the Dark Ghost avatars can almost ignore its attacks. Wang Xian's eyes flickered as he controlled the Dark Ghost avatars to close in and attack. Boom, boom, boom. The infuriated giant star beast bombarded the Dark Ghost avatars with its 8 arms, emitting a golden glow. This was an attack of the metal attribute. Seeing the giant star beast besieging the Dark Ghost avatars, Wang Xian controlled the 5 elements grindstone to continue its attack. At the same time, 8 dragon pillars rose in the surroundings. Each dragon pillar had a divine dragon entrenched on it. Boom, boom, boom. Sounds of bombardment came again. The battle with this giant star beast was a little primitive. It was a direct confrontation. This giant star beast's defense was terrifying, and its destructive power was very strong. In addition, it could control the surrounding meteorites. If not for Wang Xian's strength and the uniqueness of the Dark Ghost avatars, it would be difficult to deal with it at the same level. Cracks appeared on the giant star beast's body, and it became more and more violent. It locked its eyes on Wang Xian. At this moment, it completely ignored the attacks of the Dark Ghost avatars and attacked him. At this point in the battle, it knew that Wang Xian was the leader. Moreover, Wang Xian posed a greater threat to it. Hee. Wang Xian saw it ignoring the attacks of the Dark Ghost avatars and charging towards him. A smile appeared on his face. The 4 Dark Ghost avatars closed in on him rapidly. They were only 10,000 meters away from him. Thick metal shields rose around the giant star beast as it continued to stare at Wang Xian. Its fist radiated brilliance as it punched towards Wang Xian. Dark Dragon Transformation. Just as the 8 arms of the giant star beast were about to hit Wang Xian, his body began to turn illusory. In the next moment, his body transformed into the Dark Ghost avatars above the giant star beast. Wind and Thunder Dragon, kill. Terrifying wind and thunder power was released from the unbeginning sacred wings instantly. It condensed into a divine dragon wrapped in wind and thunder and charged downwards. At such a close distance, the giant star beast couldn't dodge at all. 5 elements annihilation plate. At the same time, the 5 elements grindstone released its strongest attack. An incomparably huge grindstone followed the wind and thunder dragon and charged downwards. Sensing the threat of death, the giant star beast roared in horror. Boom, boom, boom. One attack after another landed on his body. His body began to crumble, and pieces of his body began to crack. Wang Xian extended his dragon claws and grabbed at one of the cracks. Immediately, he grabbed it in his hand. The destructive force washed away the collapsed area, and it gradually lost its vitality. With a wave of Wang Xian's dragon claws, countless chains wrapped around the giant star beast. Obliterate its vitality. Wang Xian bellowed. The energy released by the 5 elements grindstone continued to attack. The vitality of the giant star beast was disappearing rapidly. Soon, a humongous corpse was left behind. Looking at the corpse, Wang Xian's eyes lit up. The corpse of the giant star beast was very strange. It looked exactly like metal. If it's still like this, I can consider changing places. Wang Xian looked ahead with sparkling eyes. The rate at which they could obtain meteors had already dropped significantly. It was not as good as searching for habitable planets elsewhere. However, there was also an advantage to staying here, and that was that it was safer. Boom, boom, boom. Wang Xian stood in the void and watched quietly as the horrifying sounds of the storm continued. All of a sudden, a small but extremely dazzling piece of metal flew out of the storm. At this moment, a piece of metal that was emitting a cold glow appeared. It was like a block of ice. The entire block of ice was 1,000 meters wide, but the energy it contained was extremely terrifying. The storm that was engulfing this piece of metal seemed to have been sealed, and the speed of the storm in the surrounding area was greatly reduced. The appearance of a special piece of metal immediately attracted the attention of a huge, sleeping star behemoth. That giant star beast lifted its head and stared at this special piece of metal. It did not devour it immediately. However, after hesitating for dozens of seconds, this giant star beast immediately swayed its huge body and flew towards that special piece of metal. At this moment, another giant star beast flew up and roared at the giant star beast in front of it. When the giant star beast in front of it heard this majestic roar, it swayed its huge body and gradually stopped, not daring to compete with it. That giant star beast opened its huge mouth and swallowed that piece of cold metal. However, in the next instant, that piece of cold metal pierced through its head and continued flying away. That giant star beast was in pain and let out an incomparably intense scream. Some of the surrounding giant star behemoths lifted their heads and looked at that piece of cold metal with fear. Roar, roar. That giant star beast was still roaring in pain, while the rest of the giant star behemoths lowered their heads slightly. That piece of cold metal could penetrate the head of that giant star beast in an instant. Wang Xian was shocked when he saw this. That giant star beast was terrifyingly strong. However, it was penetrated by that piece of cold metal in an instant. That piece of cold metal was definitely not simple. Wang Xian's eyes were burning with passion. He looked at that piece of cold metal. Without any hesitation, he flew straight towards that piece of metal. As he neared the front of that piece of metal, he felt an extreme chill, causing him to hold his breath for a moment. Just a piece of metal, and it's already so strong. This is unbelievable. Wang Xian sensed it, and his expression changed. He waved his arms slightly, and a bunch of thorny vines wrapped around it. However, when the thorny vines wrapped around it, they were gradually frozen and cracked. It was completely useless. Wang Xian tried to stop it with other attributes, but to no avail. That piece of cold metal continued to fly forward at high speed. Wang Xian frowned slightly. Without any hesitation, he flew to the front and slammed the meteorites towards it. Regardless of which meteorites collided with it, they would be crushed immediately. Wang Xian did not stop. One meteorite after another was bombarded and flew forward continuously. Although the cold metal was very special, its speed was completely reduced by Wang Xian's constant obstruction and collision with the meteorites. This made him delighted as he continued to reduce the speed of the cold metal. Success. He followed this piece of cold metal for a total of 5 days. During these 5 days, he had been obstructing it continuously. On this day, this piece of ice metal finally stopped. Seeing this scene, his eyes lit up. A piece of cold metal that could easily penetrate the head of a powerful giant star beast must be extraordinary. One should know that the group of giant star behemoths was extremely terrifying. Wang Xian immediately approached the cold metal, and the extreme chill came again. The white, special metal meteorites were shining brightly. Chapter 3726. Huff Huff. Wang Xian took a deep breath and stared at the piece of ice metal. He channeled all his energy and approached it. His palm landed gently on it. Instantly, he felt a freezing sensation. One should know that Wang Xian wasn't weak. Although he was suppressed in the universe, his physical strength was still there. This ice gave him a feeling that he was going to be frozen. Can this 5 elements great grindstone devour it? Wang Xian couldn't help but doubt. After a moment of hesitation, he let the 5 elements great grindstone hover above him. The five elements' great grindstone grinded the entire piece of ice metal like a millstone. After waves of energy landed on it, only indiscernible ice chips fell from it. Wang Xian raised his eyebrows. It could be devoured, but it would probably take a long time. As long as it can be devoured, the five elements' great grindstone will devour it. I'm 100% sure that I can improve again. Wang Xian murmured to himself as he looked around. In 5 days, he had flown a long distance. He was hesitating whether to return to his previous position or go somewhere else. Forget it. I'll go to other places to continue exploring. After much hesitation, he made up his mind. However, Wang Xian had set up a demonic soul altar here. Through this demonic soul altar, he could teleport and lie over instantly. Not only that, Wang Xian was prepared to set up a demonic soul altar when he came across some treasured lands in the future. In this way, even if he didn't come, the disciples of the Dragon Palace could come over. Let's go. I've gained quite a lot over the past 200 years. With a smile on his face, Wang Xian made a move and flew towards the left. The left was the way to leave this place. He had already checked it out. While flying in the void, he kept the five elements' great grindstone and allowed it to absorb the ice metal bit by bit. After flying in the void for 10 years, Wang Xian finally flew out of the area shrouded by meteorites. I wonder where in the universe this belongs to. Let's go. He scanned his surroundings and could only choose one direction as he flew aimlessly. What good luck. After flying for more than 10 days, he saw a dozen planets lined up in the void ahead. Every planet was exuding dense vitality and lush greenery. Wang Xian increased his speed and soon arrived in front of the planets. He scanned them with his eyes. There's something wrong with those 2 planets. Soon, Wang Xian noticed some problems. 2 of the planets had signs of life. Buzz. Wang Xian moved and 2 nether ghost doppelgangers appeared beside him. They immediately flew towards the 2 habitable planets. As the 2 nether ghost avatars drew closer, they were even more certain that there were star behemoths on those 2 planets. This caused a trace of vigilance to appear on his face. Whoosh whoosh. At this time, 2 more dark ghost avatars appeared around him. These 2 avatars quickly flew towards another life planet and gathered some of the divine fruits and divine grasses on them. Whoosh 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 whoosh. Right here, my lords. There are over a dozen habitable planets and 2 giant star behemoths. Right at this moment, a burst of energy suddenly appeared from behind. A faint voice could be heard. Wang Xian was slightly taken aback. Waves of dark energy instantly filled his body and enveloped him completely. He tried his best to suppress the dragon might on his body as he looked behind him. With a sweep of his gaze, he saw more than a dozen figures flying over. At the head of the group were 3 fire phoenixes. They flapped their phoenix wings and looked exceptionally sacred. Around them were more than a dozen demonic beasts with similar wings. More than a dozen figures flew over. At this time, they also noticed Wang Xian floating in the air. Their eyes lit up. The 3 fire phoenixes looked at Wang Xian and sized him up. Oh no, other experts are coming. When the dozen demonic beasts saw Wang Xian, they immediately frowned and their faces were filled with vigilance. Which race is he from? Dark energy. He doesn't look like the nether race or the skeleton race. I can't sense his aura. He might be an expert from our advanced races. The dozen demonic beasts transmitted their voices as they stared at Wang Xian with flickering eyes. Which expert is that ahead? We discovered this place first. You should leave quickly. A demonic beast stared at Wang Xian and said, I didn't expect to meet a disciple from a 9-essence world. Wang Xian swept his gaze across them and squinted his eyes at the 3 fire phoenixes. Wang Xian did not sense any threat from the 3 fire phoenixes. This time, there were many experts from various pinnacle races here. However, the top experts among the sovereigns did not enter. Their strengths were all below 4th or 5th order sovereigns. Given Wang Xian's current strength, he did not really care if he met some pinnacle races. Treasures belong to those with strength. Whoever can get it will own it. Wang Xian stared at them and said plainly, Huaxinfeng, there's no need. Those 2 giant space beasts are not very strong. I think we can tame them. Great. Giant space beasts as mounts. How majestic! They will be of great help to us when they grow. The three fire phoenixes in the middle suddenly spoke. They did not seem to care about Wang Xian at all. In fact, that was the case. Most importantly, they couldn't sense the aura of a ruler from Wang Xian. Any expert who broke through to the sovereign realm would experience some changes in their aura and aura. These changes might not be noticeable to other experts, but as sovereigns, they could sense it in an instant. That figure had not even broken through to the universe sovereign realm. As such, there was no need to care about him. Even if the other party was from another pinnacle race and had not reached the sovereign realm, they did not need to care about him. Since that's the case, let's do it. The three fire phoenixes looked at each other, flapped their wings, and flew straight ahead. When they came to Wang Xian's right, they looked at him. The fire phoenix in the middle said, "I don't care which race you are from. Get out of here immediately. This place belongs to us." Huh. When Wang Xian heard them, he raised his eyebrows slightly, and his eyes shone brightly. After the fire phoenix in the middle finished speaking, he turned around and locked his gaze on a planet with life. On this planet, they could feel the aura of the giant space beasts. Phoenix race. When Wang Xian heard their soft shout and felt their strength, a cold smile appeared on his face. In the next moment, the unbeginning saint wings on his back flapped, and he disappeared instantly. When he reappeared, he was already in front of a fire phoenix. Chapter 3727. Huh. Wang Xian's sudden disappearance caught the attention of the fire phoenix in the middle. When he saw Wang Xian appearing beside them in an instant, his pupils constricted. Damn it! Shit! Dodge! He hurriedly shouted. However, while he had reacted, the fire phoenix beside him hadn't. Wang Xian stretched out his arm with a claw of darkness in his palm and grabbed at the fire phoenix beside him. The claw of darkness in his hand was an innate cardinal treasure that he had obtained from the invincible domain. With the 5 elements grindstone and the Tai Chi dragon plate, innate cardinal treasures were useless against Wang Xian. Wang Xian basically did not use innate cardinal treasures, but this time, he purposely used an innate cardinal treasure. The horrifying claw of darkness entered the fire phoenix's body, followed his blood, and arrived at his heart. Every innate cardinal treasure had a strange and horrifying ability. For example, this claw of darkness was called the claw of the heart. Once it entered the body, it would enter the heart. Such innate cardinal treasures were very powerful. Of course, to Wang Xian, it was more convenient to use the 5 elements grindstone. Arg! The claw of the heart entered his body, causing the fire phoenix to let out a shrill scream. He turned his head and stared at Wang Xian in horror. However, under the shroud of darkness, he could only see a blood-red pupil. Damn it! The hearts of the other 2 fire phoenixes thumped violently. They had completely disregarded this figure because they could not sense the aura of a sovereign from him. However, this sudden burst of strength had actually killed their companions in an instant. One had to know that their companion had the strength of a first-order sovereign. Which pinnacle race are you from? You must be tired of living. The fire phoenix in the middle was slightly stronger. He opened his mouth and a wave of flames engulfed Wang Xian. You are the ones who are tired of living. Phoenix clan? Hee, die. Wang Xian's eyes were cold and filled with murderous intent. He had always kept the grudge against the invincible domain in mind. Wang. As soon as he finished his sentence, 4 nether ghost doppelgangers appeared around him. They stared at them coldly and charged over without any hesitation. Nether ghost doppelgangers? You are from the Nether Ghost clan? Damn it. When the fire phoenix saw this, her face turned cold. Wang Xian flapped the unbeginning sacred wings that were shrouded in darkness. Wind and thunder flashed and instantly locked onto another fire phoenix. 3 fire phoenixes, 2 at the first-order universe sovereign realm, and 1 at the second-order universe sovereign realm. The 4 nether ghost avatars attacked the second-order sovereign, while he attacked the first-order sovereign. Not good. We are no match for him. The fire phoenix in the center sensed the strength of Dark Ghost's doppelganger, and her pupils constricted as shock appeared on her face. Run. The other fire phoenix was even more terrified. He couldn't see Wang Xian at all as he scanned his surroundings in panic. A Lord Fire Phoenix was actually killed. Hiss? Not good. We've encountered an expert. It's an expert from the Nether clan. We have to flee. When the other 10 demonic beasts saw one of the fire phoenixes being killed in an instant, their faces were filled with fear. Without any hesitation, they hurriedly fled into the distance. Pooh! But at this moment, they heard a piercing sound. Ah, Big Brother, save me. A blood-curdling scream was heard once again. They couldn't help but turn back to see. Their pupils constricted, and their hearts tightened. 3 fire phoenixes are no match for the other party, Run. The other party is terrifying. The 10 demonic beasts felt their scalps prickling as they fled for their lives. Lord from the Nether clan, we have no intention of offending you. We are willing to give up this place to you. We are willing to leave this place. When the last fire phoenix saw another comrade being killed in an instant, his eyes widened, and his heart was filled with fear. The other party had the strength to annihilate them easily, but in this universe, they couldn't return to their own holy kingdom in an instant. Don't even think of escaping. Wang Xian easily killed the second fire phoenix. His gaze fell on the last fire phoenix, and his eyes were filled with a cold light. With a wave of his arm, a devil ship flew out from his palm. The devil ship expanded 1,000,000 times and charged towards the fleeing demonic beasts. Ah, no, 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 don't kill us. The demonic beasts couldn't resist at all. Even with their speed, they were much slower than the devil ship. And this devil ship was also an innate cardinal treasure. Their strength hadn't even reached the sovereign realm in the 9 Origins universe. They were basically cannon fodder. The devil ship caught up with them easily, rammed into their bodies, and killed them instantly. We don't have any deep grudges. Why are you so ruthless? When the Second Order Sovereign Fire Phoenix saw that Wang Xian didn't even spare a dozen demonic beasts, his expression changed drastically. Die. Wang Xian ignored him. With a move, he charged over with the 4 Nether Ghost doppelgangers. Chirp, chirp, chirp. It won't be that easy to kill me. Nirvana, burn. The fire phoenix's eyes were filled with ferocity. He spread his phoenix wings, and the raging flames of life began to burn. As the flames of life burned, the terrifying power of the flames swept across the surrounding starry sky. Among the dozen planets in the distance, 2 of them moved. If you want to kill me, you'll have to be prepared to perish together with me. The fire phoenix's eyes were burning with flames as he roared. His strength skyrocketed in an instant. The terrifying thing about the phoenix race was that they could burn their own flames of life. Under the burning of the flames, one's strength would be greatly enhanced. When the phoenix race went all out, it was extremely terrifying. Oomph! Wang Xian snorted coldly. With a thought, the 5 elements grindstone appeared in the sky above. Above the grindstone, there was a piece of ice metal. Confine. Wang Xian bellowed. Streams of dark energy wrapped around the fire phoenix. The 4 Nether Ghost doppelgangers also wrapped around it. Chirp, chirp, chirp. Facing Wang Xian's attack, the fire phoenix let out a furious roar. Terrifying flames burned as he struggled to break free. However, at this time, 5 divine dragons emerged from the 5 elements grindstone in the sky, roared, and struck heavily on the ice metal. The entire piece of metal flew towards the fire phoenix at a terrifying speed. Rumble, rumble, rumble. When the fire phoenix saw a piece of ice metal flying towards him, he raised his head and spat out the flames of life of the phoenix. However, when the terrifying flames landed on the ice metal, there wasn't the slightest change. It continued to smash towards him at a terrifying speed. Bam! Chapter 3728. Bam! The icy metal landed heavily on the body of the fire phoenix. The fire phoenix was burning with terrifying flames of life. He was not too bothered by the metal attack. Of course, he couldn't dodge it even if he wanted to. However, when the metal landed on his body, a pure power of ice and a terrifying impact directly penetrated his body. The metal was a few thousand meters wide, and a 1,000-meter hole appeared on his body. The terrifying icy force caused the fire phoenix to tremble violently. He felt as if his body and blood had been completely frozen. His eyes were filled with fear and despair. No! He screamed crazily as his body trembled violently. Die! Seeing that the fire phoenix was severely injured, Wang Xian moved and rushed over with the 4 dark ghost doppelgangers. Rumble! 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 The terrifying attacks landed on the fire phoenix, and his vitality was rapidly disappearing. Roar! 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 At this time, 2 giant space beasts emerged from 2 living planets not far away. Their huge bodies looked over as they sensed a trace of threat. Woo-woo! The 2 giant space beasts did not hesitate as they fled into the distance. Swish, swish! Wang Xian moved and quickly kept the corpses of the 3 fire phoenixes before flying towards the 2 giant space beasts. The 2 giant space beasts were slightly weaker than Wang Xian and should not have reached the level of a universe lord. 5 elements grindstone, suppress. Wang Xian waved his arm and the 5 elements grindstone flew over. Divine dragon shadows flew out and entangled the 2 giant space beasts. Roar! Roar! The 2 giant space beasts were entangled by the divine dragon shadows and tried to break free. However, under the suppression of the 5 elements grindstone, they could not move at all. Perfect! Wang Xian looked over and revealed a smile. 3 fire phoenix corpses, one of which was a second-order universe Lord Realm Fire Phoenix. Just this corpse alone could increase the number of Pinnacle Universe Lord Realm disciples in the Dragon Palace by 100. The other 2 First-Order Universe Lord Realm corpses could also increase the number of Dragon Palace disciples by 20. This was a huge harvest. Should I kill these 2 giant space beasts, or? Wang Xian looked at the 2 galactic beasts that he had suppressed and was deep in thought. These 2 star behemoths weren't very strong. Didn't the 3 phoenixes say that they wanted to suppress it and make it into a star behemoth's mount? He thought about the words of the 3 fire phoenixes, and his face revealed a pensive expression. After hesitating for a moment, he examined the corpses of the 3 fire phoenixes. Because they couldn't sense their divine kingdoms, they couldn't put their items in their divine kingdoms. They could only store them in spatial treasures. Opening the spatial treasures of the 3 fire phoenixes, a pleasantly surprised expression immediately appeared on his face. There are so many treasures here. They must have plundered at least a few hundred life planets. Wang Xian checked their storage space and was pleasantly surprised. Apart from these, there were also a few communication stone plates. The communication stone plate was not like the smart brain, which could maintain 100% confidentiality. However, the communication stone plate of a powerhouse was still very difficult to decipher. He waved his arm, and the devil ship in the distance flew over, carrying some corpses. Wang Xian searched the corpses and found some treasures and communication stone discs. He took a communication stone plate, and after deciphering it, he immediately raised his eyebrows. This communication stone plate was made to imitate some of the models of the smart brain, but it was more concise. On the communication stone plate, there were the contact numbers of the 12 pinnacle races. Usually, when disciples from the 9 Origins universe found treasures, they could contact the pinnacle races if it was too dangerous. And the pinnacle races would also give them sufficient rewards. This was one of the reasons. Secondly, the entire communication stone plate had a large amount of messages and information, and even some strategies. Among them, there was even a map. There were many missing parts on the map, and it was obvious that the experts from the 9 Origins universe had drawn it themselves. It wasn't very reliable. Wang Xian checked it and found all kinds of information. There were even messages from experts saying that they had obtained great opportunities. Seems like there are many experts and disciples from the 9 Origins universe here. Wang Xian murmured. Looking at the communication stone plate, his eyes suddenly lit up. Killing 3 fire phoenixes had not only brought him 3 Dominator-level corpses, but also a large amount of resources and treasures. If he could kill a few dozen of them, he would have enough resources to break through. Why don't I give it a try? Anyway, I have a grudge with the angel race and the phoenix race. If I can kill some of them, it's not bad. Wang Xian murmured, and his eyes shone. With his current strength, As long as they were not second-order sovereigns, he could kill them. Even if there were 2 or 3 second-order sovereigns, he had the confidence to do so. After killing a few, he would continue to search for treasures. Thinking of this, a smile appeared on his face. His gaze swept across the surroundings, and he began to collect some resources from the planets. After collecting, he stood there and took out a communication stone plate. His eyes shone brightly. He hesitated for a moment, found the contact number of the angel race, and sent a message. Lords from the angel race, I found a dozen or so planets, but there is danger here. It seems there are 2 giant space beasts. After sending the message, he waited patiently. Open the location on your side. Also, can you sense the strength of the giant space beasts? Soon, a message came. Wang Xian looked at it and no longer blocked the location of the communication stone plate. The 2 giant space beasts should have the combat strength of a third-order universe sovereign. At the same time, Wang Xian's location and information were sent to all the experts and disciples of the angel race through the communication device. Who is near this location? A disciple from a high-level race reported that there are a dozen or so planets here, but there are 2 giant space beasts. The giant space beasts need us first-order sovereigns to deal with. The message was sent out. I'm closer. Soon, an angel replied, I'll lead my angel army, and we can deal with them easily. All right, be careful. Inform me if there's any problem. The expert from the angel race in charge of receiving the message immediately reminded. This was a method used by the angel race to transmit messages. Every angel above the ruler realm would head to their respective territories to search for treasures. Once a disciple from a high-level race asked them for help, the nearest angel would accept the mission. Wait for me there. I'll be there in 2 days. Soon, Wang Xian received a message from an angel. Chapter 3729. Wang Xian's eyes lit up when he saw the news. He took the bait. Perhaps the experts from the angel tribe would never have thought that this was a trap or that someone would dare to hunt them down. Although he took the bait, it was still uncertain if he could succeed. If a third-order sovereign battle angel came, he wouldn't be a match. He could only slip away. I hope I won't encounter such a situation, Wang Xian murmured. This was a trial. If everything went well, it would be easier for him to strike in the future. He looked around and waved his arm. A darkness attribute innate spiritual treasure appeared in front of him. It was a dark cloud. When Wang Xian entered it, the dark cloud gradually hid in the dark void. 2 days passed quickly, and a 12-winged archangel flew over, his eyes flickering as he scanned the surroundings. When he saw the dozen or so habitable planets, he hesitated. He looked around again and fixed his eyes on Wang Xian. Swish! He flapped his wings slightly and came to Wang Xian's side. Come out, he said plainly. Judging from the aura, it should be a second-order sovereign realm angel. I'm lucky. Wang Xian looked at the great angel in front of him with excitement in his eyes. In the next instant, he unleashed his speed to the maximum and attacked the great angel without hesitation. The angel suddenly sensed a fatal threat coming at him. His heart tightened, and a white feather immediately appeared in his hand. Boom! Wang Xian stared at the great angel with cold eyes. The 5 elements grindstone blasted towards the great angel. At such a distance and speed, the great angel had no chance to resist. The terrifying energy landed on the great angel. But soon, he frowned. What a strong defense! A pair of pure white wings appeared in front of him, helping him block this fatal blow. Courting death. Who are you? The 12-winged angel stared at Wang Xian with an embarrassed look on his face. Someone attacked him. Was it the disciple who asked for help from the angel tribe? Was this a trap? Could it be that experts from other pinnacle races wanted to attack the angel tribe? No, the possibility was low. There was no need for the other pinnacle races to offend the angel tribe. There were treasures everywhere in the universe. There was no need for a conflict at this time. Then what was the reason? The 12-winged angel did not understand what was going on. After dodging the fatal attack, he saw more attacks coming at him. Damn it! This guy's strength is no weaker than mine. The 12-winged angel cursed angrily. While the defense was still there, he waved his arm. In an instant, a million-strong angel army appeared around him. At the front of the angel army, there were 6 First-Order Universe Ruler Realm Battle Angels. As for the rest of the powerful battle angels, some held swords and shields, some held spears, and some held staffs. "Attack this guy!" The 12-winged angel roared furiously. "Kill! Kill! Fight for the Lord!" One by one, the battle angels let out a frenzied roar. Spears and attacks of light engulfed Wang Xian. Hee. Seeing their attacks, Wang Xian smirked. He stared at the battle angel, and 4 Dark Ghost doppelgangers appeared beside him. 2 of Dark Ghost's avatars moved and instantly attacked the angel core. "You're from the Nether clan," the 12-winged angel bellowed when he saw the doppelganger of the Dark Ghost suddenly appearing beside Wang Xian. Wang Xian waved his arm, and the 5 elements grindstone appeared above him. On the 5 elements grindstone, there was also that piece of ice metal. Swish, swish, swish. His figure moved, and he quickly attacked the 12-winged angel. The other 2 Dark Ghost doppelgangers followed him on the left and right. Rumble, rumble. Just like before, the Fire Phoenix ignited its life flame to unleash terrifying combat strength. This time, the 12-winged angel had a powerful defensive treasure. Wang Xian used the same piece of ice metal to clash with it. With Wang Xian's strength and the 2 Dark Ghost doppelgangers, he could easily suppress the 12-winged angel. Damn it! What is he trying to do? This guy from the Nether clan actually ambushed me. Did he kill the guy who sent the message? Or... The 12-winged angel revealed an ugly expression. With a wave of his palm, a huge sword appeared in his hand, and he slashed at the incoming dark energy. However, under the attack of Wang Xian and the Dark Ghost doppelgangers, he could only be trapped on the spot. There was no way he could break free. Wang. At this moment, the piece of ice metal on the 5 elements grindstone smashed heavily at the 12-winged angel under the control of the grindstone. What's this? Seeing the ice metal attacking him, the 12-winged angel's expression changed drastically. However, the layers of attacks from Wang Xian and the Dark Ghost doppelgangers surrounded him. There was no way he could dodge. Slash. When the 12-winged angel saw the ice metal smashing towards him and sensed the terrifying energy coming from it, his expression changed drastically. The long sword in his hand smashed down heavily. Bam! Ka-ka! However, cracks appeared on the ice metal as the huge sword landed on it. The ice metal continued to smash towards him at a terrifying speed. Oh no, what the hell is this? The 12-winged angel's expression changed drastically, and his eyes were filled with horror. Bam! Ka-ka-ka! A dull and loud collision sound reverberated. The 12-winged angel's expression changed drastically as he spat out a large mouthful of blood. Cracks appeared on the defense in front of him, and the feather in his hand also looked a little illusory. It's over. I don't have the treasure to revive myself. Despair surged in his heart, and he could only feel his vision turning black. Die, you from the Angel clan. At this moment, Wang Xian charged over. With a wave of his arm, the 5 elements grindstone landed in his hand. A wave of energy was injected into it, and the 5 elements grindstone spun rapidly as it smashed heavily towards the angel. The terrifying speed and the powerful energy instantly landed on his body, causing his body to fly downwards continuously. His vitality was also rapidly disappearing. A complete kill. Wang Xian revealed a faint smile as he quickly kept the corpse. As for the rest of the angel army, they had no way to resist the attack of the 2 Dark Ghost doppelgangers. Haha, it's still the best to hunt the experts from the Angel clan and the Phoenix clan in the universe. Wang Xian revealed a smile.